ESPN interview that I am talking about. And this actually rolled out of Nneka Ogwumike's mouth. Quote, "The league and teams saying that they're losing money is like saying their pockets are empty, while you're also holding the keys to a brand new Ferrari." Now, you may be like, well, Rhodes, I'm sure these owners can afford Ferraris. You would probably be right. However,
the ESPN interview everyone keeps talking about came out right as the deadline passed, and it sparked even more tension around the WNBA's stalled labor talks. One comment in particular caught a lot of attention. It came from a players' union leader, who said that when the league and team owners claim they are losing money, it's like saying their pockets are empty while holding the keys to a brand new Ferrari. That statement alone raised eyebrows across the sports world. At first glance, some people shrugged it off. After all, many team owners are wealthy and involved in other successful businesses. But the bigger issue isn't whether owners can afford luxury cars. The real problem is what that comment reveals about how the players' union is approaching these negotiations. The deadline for a new collective bargaining agreement passed on January 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, and no deal was reached. What's surprising isn't just that talks failed, but how poorly the situation has been handled. That Ferrari comparison wasn't clever or symbolic. It showed a serious misunderstanding of how business works. The message behind it was clear. Players believe owners should use profits from their other ventures to cover losses in the WNBA. That isn't negotiation. That's asking for a permanent financial safety net, regardless of whether the league itself succeeds or fails. Many WNBA teams are owned by people who made their money elsewhere. Mark Davis owns the Las Vegas Raiders and the Aces. Herb Simon owns the Indiana Pacers and the Fever, and his wealth comes largely from real estate. The union's position seems to be that since these owners are rich, they should keep paying, no questions asked. But no successful business owner builds wealth by endlessly pouring money into something that never turns a profit. This league has existed for nearly 3 decades and has never been profitable. Reports from last year showed annual losses around $40 million, even before expansion costs. Owners were already voicing frustration, saying they were tired of writing checks without seeing a clear path forward. The new media rights deal was supposed to change that. The recent surge in attention was supposed to help. Instead, negotiations stalled while players pushed for revenue-sharing numbers that simply don't match reality. Things get even more complicated when Caitlin Clark enters the picture. When the idea of a strike vote came up, it turned out not every player agreed. 3 players voted against authorizing a strike. While their names weren't confirmed, Clark's public comments strongly suggest she wasn't fully on board with the strategy. During a USA basketball training camp at Duke, Clark spoke carefully but clearly. She acknowledged this as the biggest moment the WNBA has ever had. She said players should fight for what they've earned, but she also stressed something just as important. The league needs to keep playing. Fans want games. Momentum matters. Without basketball on the court, nothing else works. That perspective highlights a major divide. Union leadership talks about leverage and pressure, while players like Clark seem focused on protecting growth. You can't demand a larger share of revenue while also threatening to shut down the very product that creates it. Fans don't stick around forever, especially newer ones who just started paying attention. When union leaders later claimed they agreed with Clark, their actions told a different story. Clark said the league couldn't afford to mess this moment up. The union let the deadline pass. Clark emphasized keeping fans engaged. The union threatened to withhold games unless demands were met. That isn't alignment. That's using Clark's popularity to support a plan she appears uncomfortable with. This feels especially awkward given how often Clark was criticized last season for receiving too much attention. Now, her name is being used as cover for decisions that could damage the league she helped elevate. That's why those 3 no votes matter. They signal internal disagreement that may already be growing. The financial demands themselves are another sticking point. Under the current agreement, players receive about 9.3% of league revenue. The union wants something closer to the NBA's 50% split. But the comparison ignores one key fact. The NBA is highly profitable. The WNBA is not. Adam Silver has been clear that the math doesn't support that kind of sharing yet. The league has offered meaningful improvements: better travel arrangements, better facilities, increased marketing support. What owners won't agree to is sharing gross revenue instead of profit. That's not stubbornness. That's common sense. No business agrees to give away money before knowing whether it's actually making any. Owners have already been subsidizing losses for years. The NBA has kept the WNBA alive through continued support. Individual owners have absorbed financial hits because they believed in the sport and its future. But even goodwill has limits. Eventually, every investor needs proof that growth can become sustainability. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Attendance in Indiana jumped. Ratings climbed. Jersey sales soared. Some teams are thriving, especially in strong markets like New York and Las Vegas. The upcoming Golden State franchise will likely do well too. But many teams still struggle to fill seats consistently. The league average is boosted by a few successful franchises carrying the rest. When players demand league-wide revenue sharing, they're asking the strongest teams to prop up weaker ones in a way that caps future growth. Owners who are finally seeing success are understandably hesitant. They want to reinvest, not lock themselves into a system that guarantees continued losses. That Ferrari comment shows the disconnect. Instead of strengthening the player's position, it weakens it. It tells owners the union isn't focused on building a stable business. It suggests the league should function like a charity, funded forever without accountability. The uncomfortable truth is that the WNBA has survived precisely because owners treated it that way. They believed in the mission. They hoped patience would pay off. Now, with momentum finally building, this was the moment to prove that belief was justified. Threatening a strike right now risks everything. Casual fans don't wait around. If there's no season, they move on. Unlike longtime NBA viewers, many new WNBA fans don't have decades of loyalty. Momentum can vanish faster than it arrived. NBA players understand this balance. They push hard for compensation, but they also protect the product. They know you don't kill the golden goose while asking for more eggs. The WNBA hasn't reached that level of stability yet. It's just getting there. So where does this leave things? The deadline passed. Frustration is growing. The union says it's disappointed. Owners say the numbers don't work. In the middle are players who simply want to play and keep building what they started. The smarter approach would be patience. Take the gains being offered. Let the new media deal play out. Gather real data. Then return to the table with proof that higher revenue sharing makes sense. That's how leverage is built. That's how trust is earned. Instead, we're left with unrealistic comparisons, public missteps, and a strategy that risks derailing the league at its most promising moment. The WNBA had a rare opportunity to turn attention into lasting success. Whether it capitalizes on that or squanders it depends on what happens next. So the real question is simple. Should players secure steady progress now and prove long-term value, or gamble everything on demands the league can't yet support? One path builds a future. The other puts it all on the line.